Hi everyone, this is Ken, and I'm going to give a brief demonstration here of the mind map that I put together with MindMeister. And it's all about, go figure, golf game improvement. And you can see right here that that is the core of this brief presentation that I'm getting together. And there are five main elements: mind, body, the equipment, which is broken down into golf clubs and golf balls, and then finally playing the game. Just a brief presentation here. Going into our first segment, you'll see that this is all about the mind. There's one of my favorite sports psychologists right there, Dr. Bob Rotella. I have linked to an article of his 10 rules on mental fitness for Golf Digest. He's quoted as saying, golf is a game of inches, specifically the 6 inches between your ears. Learning to manage your emotions on the course, obviously, is the first step to lowering your scores. If you can control your mind, you can control your game. And that is essentially the crux of what Dr. Rotella mentions there. Moving on to the body, obviously, golf is a physical sport. We're going to talk about that more when we touch on play. But you don't necessarily have to be super strong to play a good round of golf. Golf is really more about flexibility, agility, and speed. Strength can certainly help you. I mean, if you get stronger, you'll be able to do a lot more, especially when it comes to distance and things like that. But it's not a determining factor. It just helps out in certain areas. Got a little note here that Titleist Performance Institute in San Diego, around San Diego, California, has several golf-specific exercise fitness and flexibility videos online that you can choose from. I am a TPI member myself. I have been for a few years. I went through a fitting down there back in 2012, and looking forward to getting back there. They've got great group of guys and a lot of really good stuff to offer. Getting into equipment now, the golf clubs. You, if you paid attention to golf at all, it seems like every year they're coming out with, oh, this, latest and greatest driver, and we've maximized the ROI and the COR and the, the offset coefficient, this, that, and the other. And I could get into all the terms, but the reality is there are limits. The USGA has specified limits to the size, the shape, the number of CCs of a driver head, the width and flexibility of a golf ball, how reactive that golf face can be, club face rather, can be against the golf ball. So in 2018, they've gotten as good as they're going to get. I mean, everything else now, I think, is just tweaking looks and colors and all of this and talking about different materials and things like that. But there's only so much they can do with the club head and the club face and all that. Otherwise, it gets a little ridiculous. It goes what they call non-conforming after that. It becomes illegal. So at this point, you're pretty much at the pinnacle of equipment unless they start tinkering with the rules. So the thing to keep in mind is if you are going to learn this sport and you want to get decent equipment, you probably can do that unless you're buying just a total junk starter set, from a discount store or something like that. Otherwise, if you go to a decent golf sporting goods store or something, you're going to find good equipment. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the way that it's put together is perfect for you. Your body mechanics are going to determine how well those clubs play in your hands with your swing, your physicality, all of that. So you do need to get fitted for your equipment, golf clubs. And then, of course, moving on to the golf ball, the same rules apply. A golf ball is a piece of equipment. And again, it has its own conforming rules, and there's only so many, so much you can do with the core and the face and the compression and all of that. Yeah, they can play with it, and those changes can make a difference depending upon if you're a high swing speed or an average swing speed or a low swing speed player. High handicap down to a low handicap down to a scratch golfer. It's one of those things where you really just have to test it out, and hopefully you're doing it with either a reputable sporting goods or even your coach, sporting goods salesman or your coach, getting a ball fitting, club fitting, all of that goes hand in hand. And you can see here that the way that I've lined this out, the ball and the club are both equipment, and they are determined by your body mechanics right here. Now, your body is going to dictate our next and final, number 5, phase, and that is play. And you can see at the end of the day, golf is a game to be played. It's a sport. It requires physicality. You can study, you can rehearse, you can practice, you can do all of that. But until you get out there on the course, tee it up, that's not going to do you any good. You have to play the game in order to get good, let alone better at the game. There's one of my all-time heroes right there, Ben Hogan. He said it best, the secret's in the dirt. You've got to get out there and put a club on a ball, and anything short of that, you might as well not even bother. You can smack balls around on the range all you want. You've got to get out on the course. You've got to put your club head in the dirt and really see how that ball's going to react, see how your swing is going to hold up, and the pressure. Now, that being said, your body is going to dictate, as you can see right here, this arrow, body is going to dictate your play, your physicality again, but also when it comes to whether or not you're going to be able to beat other players, much less win a tournament. Well, that takes us all the way back around here to the mind. We come full circle. We start here, we end here. And it is the mind that's going to determine how well you play. Now, getting good at the game, being able to make good contact and all that, that's body, that's physicality, that's mechanics. But when it comes to playing the sport, when it comes to competing and hopefully winning, that comes back around to the mind. We see here, I've got a link to a video, Kendra Vallone. She goes through the 5 secrets that Mr. Hogan here lined out in his book. And we also have a link here to that book in Amazon. You can see right here, Ben Hogan's 5 Lessons. And this is an excellent book. I have 2 copies of it, as a matter of fact. I've had them for years. And it's a staple in the industry there. So you can see here, if I can, am I blocked from getting back? There we are. Okay. Well, that kind of took us out of there, but you can see that's essentially it right there. And hopefully this is something that makes sense to everyone. Again, I could spend an entire semester just talking about golf and my experience with golf and teaching and training and coaching and playing and all of that. So hopefully you enjoyed this and it makes sense. And yeah, looking forward to next assignment. Thanks.